next session, which is on the future of BPO as technology, emerging technology in new era. And for this, I would like to invite Mr. Dhipak Dhar, Senior Director, Digital CX India Business Leader from Capgemini. Mr. Dhipak brings over 19 plus years of experience in transforming global technology businesses for profitable growth. He has held leadership roles at Infosys, Cognizant, and is currently a Senior Director at Capgemini, leading digital transformation, client management, and GTM strategy. May I request a huge round of applause for Mr. Dhipak?
Good morning, everyone. Okay. Thanks for the introduction. My pleasure to be one of the speakers here and then talk about how technology is changing the entire landscape, right? I'm very close, to how technology can act like a disruptor, right? And in each one of our lives, even professionally and personally, we all understand how this plays an important role, in the way we do things, in the way we talk to our clients, in the way we achieve the business levers. So, that's one of my favorite topics to talk about. So probably I have next 15-20 minutes, right? 15-20 minutes, perfect. Okay. So without much ado, let me quickly start. So each one of you, right, I'm sure you must be talking to multiple clients, different industries, and last few years, especially post-COVID, right, you would have seen this talk about paradigm shift in the way we approach things, right? The way, there are these certain mundane tasks, there are certain ways a client looks at how things can be achieved. So for me, if today you ask me, it's not a paradigm shift, it's a paradigm shock. If you don't move today, there are people behind you who will just walk over you and take the business. So our mindset should not be a paradigm shift. It's a shock, and it's a shock to the entire world, to the entire industry, how business is carried over. So if you don't embrace the technology, the technology will kind of overpower you, and then you will be forced to make a decision. So as an organization, as an individual, as a person who keeps on talking to the client, it's very important you amalgamate what exactly is happening today from a tech trend. How do you marry that and ensure you get a seamless client experience? Okay, so this is just a quick theme of my presentation. You need to discover the power of technology, and how do you do, using that, how do you transform the entire digital transformation, your BPO, BPM solutions, and in the end, you need to have a happy customer, and you need to make profitable business. So that's a business theme for today's discussion. Before I go ahead, right, a quick snapshots of all the top tier Indian SIs and some global SIs, right? We're talking about a lot of technology levers. What the industry is doing, what the large organizations are doing. Microsoft has tied up with a company called Nuance. I don't know if you have read about it. Nuance is a very, very powerful contact center solution. If you know about it, if you have read about it, the latest Gen AI, AI/ML, voice recognition, you name it and it has it. So they have tied up with Nuance. What are companies like Capgemini, Wipro, Infosys, Cognizant, Accenture? Imagine investing $3 billion, $2 billion, $1.5 billion in Gen AI. That means, you agree or not, there is something on the plate for the organizations to think about. A $2 billion investment for a Gen AI technology is huge. It's humongous. So the world is moving towards that. And as I said, as an individual, as an organization, you need to embrace that and figure out what are the right solutions. It's an ocean. To put it in a simple term, it's an ocean. How do you leverage each drop to ensure you get the right results? Okay, so this is just to give you a market outlook that how the large tier 1 organizations are investing in this technology. I'm sure most of you Here, a part of the organization like Infosys, Cognizant, Wipro, TCS, Accenture. So the investments are for real. Okay. So let me move to the next slide. That what are the different levers or from a technology standpoint which is impacting the BPM industry, right? If you see the first, I think most of you would have already embarked on this journey, but again, a very, very critical aspect is automation, right? Automation and RPA. Now, how is this being scaled up, right? So using RPA solutions, at least your back-end processes, which would take ages, your integrations with any ERP or CRM systems, any back-end processes. I think we have the automation levers. Can that be called as a smart automation? No. So these platforms give you these automation platforms, but you need to add a tinge of AI, ML algorithms on top of it to make it a smart automation. Okay, gone are the days of simple, you have some backend processes, you use a platform like a UiPath or Automation Anywhere or any RPA solution and automate it. That is the basic step, but you need to add the intelligent factor to it. Okay, the one which I was talking about, the AI ML algorithm, analytics. Over these years, right, organizations were using enterprise data to collect the insights. But is that enough? No, that's not enough. On one side you have enterprise data, on other side you have experience data. So when you marry both, that is what is called as data-driven customer experience. And you cannot do anything with the enterprise data. Let me tell you that. Any data aggregator in the market will give you that data. But how do you monetize the data? See, data is as equivalent as like oil, right? In the initial stages. Until you don't mine it properly, you're not going to get any. You're not able to. You cannot monetize that data. So it's very important as an organization to understand what is your enterprise data, what is your experience data, and how do you marry that. That is where you can use that data to get the right insights. So for acquiring a new customer, for retaining a new customer, for improving the customer experience, that is where you get the real power of data-driven customer experience or your analytics, smart analytics. Cloud computing is one of the part of it, so I'll not talk about it. Security and omnichannel communication, right? All of you would have heard about DevOps, right? DevOps is a very, very common term in today's industry. But what is changing? DevOps has become today DevSecOps. Security has come into this whole thing because as an organization, you have data privacy laws, you have GDPR laws, there are multiple laws, right? In Europe, in EU, in North America. So security plays a very, very large aspect. You need to protect your client PII data, That's why DevOps has become now DevSecOps. So you need to add that layer of security so that your clients are comfortable that whatever data you're using, that is safe. Okay. Omnichannel, right? So in today's day and age, right, the channels are multiple, right? There's social media channels, there's chat, there's chatbot, there is voice, email, media. We need to ensure all these are connected, right? There is seamless integration between all these channels, because if somebody say raises a ticket on a social media platform, and your executive is sitting behind, and there's a thread going on already on a voice call. So all that needs to be seamless. The data, the data needs to be connected across all channels, which is very important in today's day and age. And if you talk about, there's a lot of buzzword about personalization. I would say even that's a dead term now. It's all about hyper-personalization. Okay, so you need to understand your consumer, your end consumer much, much better in today's day and age. Because we all know, for all these Gen Z, or probably not even Gen Z, Gen Alpha, right? They want to be made feel special. So that's where this hyper-personalization comes in. You need to understand what your consumer wants. And in the end of the day, If everything is connected, that is where you can stitch the entire story together. I've spoken about predictive analytics, right, about data-driven CX. How do you predict the right insights from your data to get the right customer experience? And then these are these standard quality monitoring, your turnaround time, productivity. How do you improve that using technology, right? There are multiple levers for that. So skill enhancements, right? In a BPM industry, it's all about skill, right? It's all about how do you upskill, cross-skill your folks to ensure they also know how to use the right technology levers. While you can pump in the different technology levers, different jazzy platforms, but is your workforce enabled to use that? So training forms a very, very important part in improving the productivity, in improving the right customer experience for your clients. Okay. So these were these were some of the trends. So let me now dwell down into a few specific ones, which is kind of hitting the market or which has hit the market. Especially, I would say the period from 2020 to 2022, the whole COVID period, that was like a game changer. That's where people experimented, because something in those 2-3 years was not normal, right? You all would know your workforce was remote, so there was a lot of VPN solutions. The clients were not aware how the ODC setup would work. So all this gave birth to different ways of working, and that is where technology played a very important role. Okay, if you see, right, there was completely domination of automation, right? Gone are those days wherein your ERP systems like SAP or Oracle, with somebody would manually go in the system, type in something that would integrate with your CRM system, or that would integrate into your service channels. So gone are those days. So there's complete the task which would take hours and hours because of automation levers coming in that dominated the entire backend processing. While I tell that, AI, right? How did AI enhance customer interactions? As I said, it is all about smart automation. You need to automate, but you need to be smart. So you need to use the right AI ML algorithms to ensure you use automation and use it smartly. So if you see here, the AI-driven chatbots and virtual agents, right? They use in fact, there are these 3D digital avatars also. You can use metaverse for your customer support. So and it talks like a human. So how do you leverage that, right? How do you leverage AI into that space is quite important when you talk about a BPM solution. Hyper-personalization, I think I've spoken about that. You need to ensure, or you need to predict, you need to be cognitive of the fact that you need to know what your consumer wants. You need to personalize that experience for him. It's not that you can treat him like any other consumer, because in today's day and age, if you lose a customer, the cost to acquire a new customer is much, much higher. So you need to factor that hyper-personalization aspects. Predictive analytics, and how these emerging technologies, the integration, right? There is IoT, there is these physical devices, there's blockchain. So we have seen a lot of blockchain case studies, especially for healthcare clients. So there's a lot of experiment going on in how blockchain can help a healthcare or a banking client, because it's a very close-knit kind of circle with blockchain being used. I'm sure most of you also would experiment how blockchain can be leveraged. So there's a lot which an emerging technology can offer here. And then there's obviously cognitive automation, which is a fusion of AI and automation, which we in general layman's term you call as a smart automation. I think I've spoken about most of them. Data security, again, very, very critical, right? You need to ensure, you need to invest heavily in ensuring you get the right advanced cybersecurity measures, you use the right encryption models, and you need to ensure that security is baked in whatever you think of. In whatever. It can be as simple as any program which you offer to a client, but you need to have that very, very strong security aspects baked into that. Sustainable, absolutely right. I think today you talk to any client, the first topic which comes to their mind is sustainability, right? How do you give it back to the society? How do you reduce the carbon print? So whatever solutions you think, you need to also ensure they are sustainable in nature. That is one of the hottest topics, and that is what even your clients would love to hear on that. So these were the latest tech trends, right? But how from a business model, how things are evolving, right? What are the new business models we're actually talking about? You know, things have moved on. Things have moved on from a traditional business models to where we stand today. Clients are thinking different. So you as an organization, you as an individual also need to think different. How do I sell, or how do I co-sell with a client? Gone are the days where you will be treated as a vendor. In today's day and age, you have to partner with your client. You know, you have to ensure that you have enough skin in the game for them to be as their partner. So if you see with these new business models, you'll have to walk hand in hand with the client and act like a consulting partner rather than a traditional vendor. So if you see, right, some of the latest trends, subscription economy, you know, typical software as a service, right, SaaS companies, even they are coming with subscription-based models, right, to the client. You know, it's not those typical license models, but it's a more subscription. Similarly, sharing economy, right? I mean, Airbnb, Uber, these are the classic examples. How a company can prove that just with this model, even without having physical infra, how they're able to succeed. So that's a very, very successful case study, if I have to call it. Marketplace modules, you know, companies like Amazon, Flipkart, how they are promoting this marketplace model, that's very important. Outcome-based pricing, right? In a BPO, BPM industry, you know, in today's day and age, every client is asking, you know, if I do well, I'll pay you well, but if your results do not, you know, satisfy me, I'm going to pay you in that way. So it's very important for us also to come out of our traditional mindset and then see how outcome-based pricing can help the clients. You know, if you see, there's you know, levers like customer satisfaction, there's levers like productivity benefits, lower number of tickets, higher customer you know, acquisition. So all these things, when you talk to your clients and then you define based on what outcomes you get paid, that is when you come into a more collaborative partnership model with the clients. So you need to keep that in mind, that you need to ensure you think about, you know, what makes a client succeed versus, you know, vis-a-vis a very traditional BPO model. Because if you don't do it, there are other people who think about it, and then, you know, they can talk to the clients on that. I think I've covered most of this. Circular economy is very important. So we are working with one of the largest manufacturers of electric equipments and laptops. So circular economy is, I mean, the term seems to be quite complex, but it is not. You know, it's as simple as that. If suppose a company like Amazon will, you know, if they have to return a product, can an AI ML algorithm tell them, hey, you know what, instead of this place, maybe you can, you know, send your shipment to place B, which will kind of reduce their carbon footprint. So it is as simple as that. That even with, say, instead of 10 stops, if it's 5 stops, you know, your entire carbon footprint is coming by almost, you know, it's getting down to almost 50%. So you need to think about that. How can you help in a circular economy, right? For any client, you know, can you reduce the number of hops? Can you reduce the number of logistics, you know, shipping timelines? How can you leverage technology for that? Because, you know, sustainability, you know, circular economy, I think these are the topmost, if you talk to a CIO or a CTO of a client organization, these are top words for them. And it is coming, right? It's a top-down thing. It is coming from their board members as well, because everyone wants to pitch in for sustainability right now. So you need to think, how can you help the clients with that? I think I've covered this. Yeah. So in summary, I'll just conclude, and I have one more slide because I want to leave with a final thought on that. But in summary, as I said, it's not paradigm shift. it is a shock. Embrace the technology and embrace it in the right way. There are multiple levers, and it's human nature to get confused. But then, as an individual, as an organization, you need to understand what your client wants, and then use that technology, right? Gen AI is humongous. AI, ML is already been there. Automation is already there. How do you marry that? How do you put a tinge of subscription economy, circular economy, sustainability? How do you marry all of that together? Is finally that is what will drive your success with your clients. Okay. So my last slide. Again, I love to talk about this. I don't know how many of you have read this book called *Sapiens* by Yuval Harari. 1, 2, 3. The reason I want to talk about this, see, we're talking about Gen AI, automation, and all that, right? There's a fear in the mind, right? Okay, what if everything is done by Gen AI, why would you need me to speak here, right? You could have got my 3D avatar and he could have presented this slide. No. People who have read this book will know the history of mankind, right? Homo sapiens. Very interesting book. If you've not read it, I would recommend for each one of you to read it. Okay, go back 10,000 years, in time, right? Probably, a hunter would spend, say, 3-4 days, 3-4 hours in the forest, hunt some animal, eat it, that's his food, and his day is all done. So out of 24 hours, he would spend, say, 3-4 hours, do some hunting, get a food, eat, sleep, and his day is done. Then came revolution, industry revolution, this, that. The thing started evolving. But did this 4 hours become 4 hours? No, he didn't. He had tools then to do hunting, and then he extended his day. So instead of 4 hours, now it became an 8 hours day. So same way, when you're embracing technology, you can leverage that time to do something else, right? So if you see the history, technology has always helped an individual to grow, not that it has replaced an individual. So it's a very important aspect, because in today's day and age, everybody has this question: what, if Gen AI is coming, and what are humans supposed to do? No, humans will always have additional time, and that is where you can leverage their emotional quotients, their IQ, to do something better. While this technology will help you or supplement you to do better, so keep that in mind, and in any of your conversations, that this is a very important aspect of a human evolution. Thank you. I'm done. I'm happy to take any questions if you want.
Thank you so much, Deepak sir, for your insightful session.